What's up, guys? Tim Little. Welcome back to Tactical Bassin. Today we are talking wintertime fishing. Where do these fish go and how to catch them? Out here in Tennessee, it is full-blown winter. We are layered up. It is cold out, but wintertime can be a great time to get out on the water and catch a ton of fish and possibly your PB. Wintertime fishing can be some of the most rewarding fishing of the entire year. Sure, you gotta layer up a little bit, but a lot of the summertime boats, a lot of the boat traffic is gone and put away. Right? They're in their sheds, they're covered up, they're gone for the cold weather months, and you get to have the lake to yourself. So you get to fish the spots you want to fish and really target those key areas and catch tons of fish and possibly catch your new PB. So today I want to talk about where fish go and the different types of reservoirs and how to catch them. So first off, you got to understand, and I kind of talked a little bit about this in the where do fish go in the fall, that fall transition, but we talked about knowing the type of the body of water that you're on. Are you on a highland reservoir? Are you on a lowland reservoir? You know, a river or a pond? But to keep it simple, I'll link that video down below in the video description, but to keep it simple, if you're on a body of water that has huge arms, lots of creek channels, lots of different backwaters and steep walls, that's going to be a highland reservoir. Typically those reservoirs have a lot of fluctuation between summertime and wintertime with water levels. Lowland reservoirs, they're typically not as obvious. A lot of times you got to use your electronics to find the different river bends, creek channels, that sort of stuff, but you're not going to have those real deep arms with lots of points and lots of little channels and stuff. So depending on the type of fishery you're on, it's going to depend on how you target these fish. Highland reservoirs, again, lots of water fluctuation. Again, these fish are in their winter haunts. They're home. This is where they're going to spend the entire winter. So you want to look for long tapering points with hard bottom. Rock is your friend this time of year, and you want to, say you take a fishery like Shasta or Dale Hollow out here. You want to find those big river arms where they come together. I call them choke points or funnels. The biggest bass in that area is going to take up residence right there on those choke points, and that's where they're going to live and that's where they're going to feed. If you're on a smaller reservoir but it's still a highland reservoir, everything is just kind of narrowed down. So look for those choke points, those funnels where the fish can really take up residence and have the bait, your shad, your trout, whatever your bait fish may be, coming to them. They have to hunt a lot less of an area. They can take that key structure, that key location, and have the fish and the food come to them. Now, as far as lowland reservoirs, like I talked about, a lot of it's going to be less obvious when you look at the shoreline. You're not going to have the real steep walls. You're not going to have the bluff walls, the real deep arms. You're going to have to use your electronics a little bit more and look for high spots near creek channels or river channels out on the main body. Again, you're not going to have those long tapering arms that go back for miles and miles and miles. You're just going to have a big open body, kind of like Comanche out west. But you're going to have a lot of high spots. You're going to have creek channels, river channels, and you're going to look for those key areas where those channels come close to island tops and humps, and that's where those fish are going to stay. Pond fishermen, fairly simple. Go to your deepest water. If your water on your dam is typically going to be your deepest in the pond, if you have lots of structure in your pond, say you got some laydowns and such, fish the areas where those laydowns come closest to that deep water. Again, deep water access, these fish are going to want deep water access. Those are the key areas with rock or some kind of structure that they can call home. River fishermen, fairly simple. Look for that same type of stuff off of current seams or out of the current. Look for current breaks, because those fish don't want to live in the current year round. So they're going to pull away from it. They're going to look for the high spots. They're going to look for areas where they can get out of that current but still live close to it with deep water access close by. Now that we've kind of brushed through or covered where these fish go or what to look for in your highlands, your lowlands, your ponds, your rivers. Now let's talk about how to catch them. And really there's two ends of the spectrum on what you want to do, how you want to target these fish. You know, if you're looking to go out and catch a 10-pounder, if you're looking to go out and catch the biggest fish in the lake, you're going to want to go out and throw big meals. If you're wanting to go out, take the family out, you're in a tournament situation and you just need to put fish in the boat, you're going to downsize, you're going to go finesse. So depending on the two mindsets or the type of fishing you want to do depends on the type of fishing. So let's talk about the big bait stuff or the reaction stuff real quick, and then we'll talk about the finesse stuff. So really it's simple this time of year. If you want to go out and target the biggest fish in your body of water, we've already talked about the locations. Now you need to present to them a large, easy meal, something that you can trick them into biting it, like an 8-inch Hud or a 10-inch Huddleston. You guys want to downsize a little bit, you can go with a 6-inch. I don't recommend anything smaller than that because, again, these fish don't want to move a lot. They're looking for the easy meal. They don't want to burn a lot of energy or calories. So the bigger the meal, the easier the meal, the better. But you're going to have to go realistic. So go with something like the Huddleston 8-inch. And down below in the video description, we'll link some of our favorite swim baits, especially wintertime swim baits, because you're going to want something with a different tail action. You don't want a boot tail swim bait that's got a lot of thump or a lot of kick. You want something that's real subtle to kind of mimic or match the life down under in these cold water months. So go big, go natural if you want to trick them. If you want to make them react or tap into their predatory instincts to really just lash out and eat, even though they don't want to, it's really simple. Go with a jerk bait, an A-rig, or a crankbait. Those three and some kind of swim bait are going to be my top 4 power fishing or big bait fishing techniques for this time of the year. A big swim bait, an Alabama rig, a jerk bait, and a cold water crankbait. And we've done multiple videos on all those. So that is the key baits that I'm going to throw for those situations. Now on the flip side, if I'm going finesse and I just want to put fish in the boat, and heck, you might catch a 10-pounder on a 2.8 Kitech, but if you want to just not specifically target them and throw the big baits all day, you just want to catch fish, you're going to go finesse. That's when you're going to throw your drop shots, your Ned rigs, your finesse jigs, little paddle tail swim baits, work them slowly on bottom, the Demiki rig, that sort of stuff. So those typically those techniques are what's going to produce this time of year. Remember to slow down. You don't want a lot of action on your baits because with the finesse baits, you're not moving them quickly. They're going to have a lot of time to really examine those baits and decide, yep, that's fake. Been caught by that before. I don't want to eat it. Or, hey, that looks realistic. I'm going to eat it. So slow down. Go with realistic baits. If you're going with a Nico rig or a drop shot, you know, any type of those finesse techniques, go natural and go with baits that don't have a lot of action. There it is, guys. That's the down and dirty, simple, simplified, easiest way to go out and break down your bodies of water and how to target them. If you want to make them react, if you want to trick them, go with the big baits, go with the reaction stuff. If you really want to slow down, go with the finesse stuff and really pick those key areas apart. You know, that hard rock bottom on those long tapering points, that's where you're going to find the biggest and the most fish this time of the year. So down below in the video description, I know I covered a lot of the baits very quickly, but I will link my favorite big bait, my favorite reaction baits to make them feed as well as my finesse baits. And you know, in the next couple of videos, we'll actually be doing some fishing, and then we'll kind of kick back off those buyer's guides before Christmas. But again, down below in the video description, I will link all of this stuff for you. I will pick my favorite Alabama rig, my favorite jerk bait, my favorite cold water crank, and my favorite big bait to help simplify it for you guys. But this time of the year, get out on the water. Don't be afraid to layer up and go fight the cold, because you could have some of the best fishing, catch some of the biggest fish of your life right now. As always, guys, we appreciate you. If you learned something from this video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll talk to you soon, guys. Have a good one.